So for me, one of the most interesting historic facts in the Bible comes to us in a popular story in the book of Daniel. But according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, it was attributed to the wrong king. Now, even before the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, scholars suspected that this was about someone else. This is 4Q242. It's one of the fragments discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's called the Prayer of Nabonidus. And it confirmed what historians had already suspected, but couldn't really prove. I was smitten for a period of 7 years. I became a beast. But he wasn't actually sick. He was in the Arabian wilderness trying to secure new trade routes. Remember, he was sick before he left. Then I prayed for God to forgive my sins and was exorcised by one of the Jews who had been exiled. Obviously, that didn't happen either. There's some evidence that he might have gone back to primarily worshipping Marduk, but nothing about him worshipping the Jewish god. Now, Nabonidus was king when Babylon was conquered by Cyrus the Great and welcomed the Jews back from exile. That's when these stories about him started to develop. But it was King Nebuchadnezzar who conquered Jerusalem and sent the Jews into exile in the first place. You can imagine why later Jewish authors would want to attribute such an embarrassing story to him.
As it turns out, this is one of the most well-attested biblical blunders that we have. The son, Belshazzar, being from Nabonidus and not actually from Nebuchadnezzar is an absolute stone-cold fact. Here is some more evidence to suggest that the story we read about Nebuchadnezzar going mad was originally about Nabonidus and his son was Belshazzar. If you read the Nabonidus Chronicle and go to column 2, lines 10 and 11, it says the 9th year Nabonidus the king was in Tema, while the prince, the officers, and the army were in Akkad. The king, the month of Nisanu, to Babylon did not come. And this is actually really important. This is recording that the king was away for an extended period of time. In fact, according to history, about 10 years. And who was in charge while he was gone? It was his son Belshazzar. If you look up the Nabonidus Cylinder, you can get a translation in English, and it's a first-hand account of certain events as well as a prayer from Nabonidus. He says, "As for me, Nabonidus, king of Babylon, save me from sinning against your great Godhead, and grant me as a present a life of long days. As for Belshazzar, the eldest son, my offspring, instill reverence for your great Godhead in his heart." So this is clear that the son is Nabonidus' son, but there's more. And from the clay tablet archives from Iraq, we have discovered that there are actually recorded offerings for the temple, and they are listed by individual and by family. 1 mina of silver, the tithe of Belshazzar, the son of the king. And then again, it says 2 shekels of silver to Danu Ahi Shi'abini, the son of Nergal Abelit, who, the son of the king Belshazzar, is sent. And then again it ends, the 7th day of Tammuz, the 9th year of Nabonidus, the king of Babylon. So Belshazzar was actually the son of Nabonidus, not of Nebuchadnezzar. This is just an unbearable historical blunder that almost every Bible scholar of the Old Testament knows, and for some reason almost not a single Christian is aware of.